Okay, I've had this bike for a short while now, and I've done a few miles on it. I did an advanced day last week sometime, so I was in the saddle all day as well. So these are some further findings that I've discovered with this bike. The fuel injection mapping definitely wasn't as good as it could have been, but it was better than the GS. So I fitted an accelerator module to it, which is similar to the booster plug, but I found the booster plug didn't seem to work on the GS, so I didn't want to buy another one. So it's made this bike a lot better at lower revs, like first and second gear round town. You don't anymore have to keep slipping the clutch in first or cruising to stop the jerkiness. So it's quite sweet now, actually. Found that there's a lovely sweet spot on this between 3,000 and 4,000 revs. It just really enjoys being around that sort of rev range. The cruise control isn't brilliant at slow speeds, especially when you're going up or down a hill, because the throttle seems to be either on or off. So cruise control tends to work better above 40-50 miles an hour. You do tend to find a little bit of knocking through the transmission as well sometimes. When you go over quite a bumpy road surface, you do feel a tiny little bit of knocking through your bars. I've checked the rear end and it is quite solid, so I just assume that that's just a feeling of the shaft drive lash going back and forwards and putting the input through your bars. The gearbox on the bike is really sweet. It goes into first silently. Yeah, sometimes on the chain drive bikes it can tend to knock and bang as you put it into first gear, but this is silent. But every now and then when you go to press it into gear, it doesn't entirely go, and you have to keep your foot down and just ease your clutch out a little bit. Gear changing is smooth but quite slow, so clutchless changing on this, you can do it, but there's no advantage to be gained by doing it. Also, if you try to preload the gears, like in my preloading lesson, any more than average pressure does actually start to change the gear for you. So again, heavy preloading on your gears doesn't seem to work very well. Brakes. The brakes are very good, but they lack a bit of feel. Because they're servo assisted, you tend to find when you put the brakes on, you squeeze in the front lever and all of a sudden the brakes seem to come on a little bit. They're not as progressively feelable as a bike without a servo. Come on. So when you're putting the brakes on, you've just got to be careful, and you've got to try to know when to expect the front brake to really start to grab. Back brake is very, very good. It's nice for slow speed. I found the seat height on this is a little bit taller than my pan-European, and again, being 5'8" and 1/10, I can get 1 foot flat on the floor if I want to, but I tend to find using the balls of my feet on the floor is a little bit more comfortable for me. But the bike is slightly top heavy at slow speed, so you need to just be aware of that. Steering's very light. I'm trying to think what else to say. I do like the bike. I'm getting to know it better. I'm getting to like it better. Yes, it does have that little bit of hunting still at the lower revs and lower speed, but again, it might also be partly due to the fact it's got the shaft drive as well, and that's going on and off. Watch this car. It was in the wrong lane. Okay. The mirrors. You tend to find there's a bit of a blind spot in these mirrors. The top third of the mirror, all you can see is your knuckles and your handlebars and your levers. So all you can do is you can look between your handlebars and your levers and the panniers. So they're not the best mirrors in the world, but then again they're not exactly the worst. Some mirrors have elbows stuck in them and things, so you can't see at all. Watch this car. So that's the mirrors. Luggage space is fantastic. The panniers in the top box take a lot of equipment, which is really good. And there's also a little cubby hole at the side, as you've seen before, to stow more personal things like your phone. So in conclusion, I think the bike's really nice. It's growing on me. I am going to hang on to it for a little bit longer. And it's got an electric screen, look.